Today's episode is a reminder that even when life feels like it's falling apart, it might actually be falling into place. I'm sitting down with Naomi Kreske, who shares her journey from heartbreak to survival mode to creating a life she truly loves using the law of attraction. We're talking about what it really takes to shift your life from the inside out. If you've ever felt stuck or disconnected, I think this episode's going to hit home for you. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, Naomi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're here with me too. So I'd love for you to share with the listeners just who you are and what your story is.
I've been a lot of different things throughout my life, but I guess most importantly, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, 1 stepson, 2 granddaughters, a cat mom, a dog mom, remarried to the love of my life. Took the second time to figure that out, but and yeah, I've been an interior designer, I've been a stay-at-home mom, I've been a restaurant owner, and now I have finally found my passion in the ripe old age of almost 50, we'll say young age, of being a life coach.
Fun. Yeah, I would say young age. I've got grandparents right now who are
Yes,
currently 90 and 93. And I'm like, I practically could live my life all over again
all over again.
in
Yes.
the time that they're alive for. And I would love for you to share with listeners just how your story played out for you. Because yes, you're in this great moment now, but it wasn't always that way
Yeah.
for you, was it?
No, it wasn't. About shortly after my daughter was born, she was my third and she was 9 months old. My marriage at the time fell apart. Like, unbeknownst to me, my marriage got ripped out from under me due to infidelity, and like my life as I knew it was just completely crushed. And I went from being a stay-at-home mom, raising 3 kids under 5, married, happy, thinking I had this white picket fence life, to not having it anymore
Mhm.
and having, to get my shit together and be this single mom and figure life out.
And that's interesting to hear too, because somebody will be listening to this and go, oh, this is a manifestation podcast. It sounds like we're living a happy life. And then all of a
I
sudden,
was.
the rug got pulled out from you.
Yeah.
And then I hear the other piece of your story, the after part now, who's like, now I'm married to the love of my life. So it's like there was this unraveling that wasn't clear to you at the time that has brought you
Right.
to this better place now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the moment, I was devastated and crushed and was, why me? Why this? But now looking back, I wouldn't change a thing because all the things that I learned have led me to where I am now. And I wouldn't have been able to be the kind of coach that I am or learn the lessons that I've learned without all of those struggles. So they do have their purpose.
Mhm. And somewhere in all that chaos, you learned about the law of attraction, correct?
Yes.
And how
Yes.
did that play out for you?
What I lovingly call the hot mess express. I was on it for years and years and years. I was in survival mode. I was emotionally unavailable. I just was kind of just blindly trudging through life. But there was a piece of me that always wanted something more. Like, I knew life could be more. And so I started this journey of all the self-help books, the podcasts, the courses, and I was reading a book, and the author was sharing a story, sharing a conversation that she had with her mother, because the author, I was looking for love. I still wanted love in my life. And her mom was like, you're going out, you're partying, you're drinking, you're hanging out with not the right people, but yet somehow you feel like Prince Charming is going to come into your life and sweep you off your feet. She's like, it doesn't work that way. And so what she was trying to point out is that the energy you put out is the energy you get back. If you're going to be a hot mess, then expect douchebags to come into your life and toxic behaviors and drama, you know? So I was like, holy shit, this is my life.
Mhm.
I was like, she's telling my story. And I was like, all right, so what is this law of attraction thing? Because it makes sense, because in its simplest form, what you put out is what you get back in life.
Mhm.
And I was like, I got to start putting out better energy because I want something better in life.
And that's easy to say. So how do you put out better energy if you're in this hot mess state, as you were putting it?
I mean, that's step one, is that realization, that self-awareness that it's not, the problem isn't out there somewhere. The problem is inside you. And that is kind of a brutal awakening to realize, oh shit, I am the problem.
Yeah. And with that, yeah, brutal awakening, but empowering. As much as you
Oh
get
yeah,
that slap in the face, how empowering is that to go, oh, but I also have the power to
to
change the
change that.
direction
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did that look like for
Yeah.
you?
It looked, so a lot of it was changing my behaviors. And I had this one question that I really sort of started asking myself about everything in my life. Does this serve me? Does this person serve me? Does this place serve me? Does this job serve me? Does this mindset serve me? I started evaluating everything in my life. I mean, I took baby steps. Like, I didn't just come out of off the Hot Mess Express just like that. Like, it took a couple years for sure, maybe more, I don't know. But I started staying home more and spending more time with myself and really editing out the friends who weren't good for me, the behaviors, the drinking, the staying out late. You know, if I wanted better, I had to be better. So it was a process, but it obviously it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. And I like the permission slip in there of it can take time because, like you said,
Yeah,
you could be flicking the switch. Know that when you make that decision to have that shift, to shift to something better, you are flipping the switch. And it's just that continual action and that continual movement towards what you want that's going to get you there. And yeah, it's not necessarily going to be immediate. When people look at me now and they say, oh, it's amazing you have all these rental properties, that, yes, it is, but that was a process. I got to that
sure.
point, right? So
Yeah,
to be switching your own personal, not your personality, but I guess in a sense within that, your personal identity is what you're shifting.
yeah.
That's going to take time.
You're rewriting your story. So it's like you're redoing a lot of neural pathways in your brain, because even if you want change, your brain resists it. If you want change for something good, your brain still says, danger, danger, it's different, it's scary, I can't do it. So you have to rewrite that neural pathway, and that takes practice, it takes patience, it takes time. You have to make it a well-worn groove so it becomes your default.
Yeah. And when you're saying that you're rewriting your story, one of the most powerful things you can say to yourself is, I am. So if you're linking yourself with, I am this person who is going out drinking, using that example, you're
Yeah.
owning that. Whereas if you're like, I am this person who prioritizes self-care and I drink lots of water in a day, those are two very different identity states of being, right? So you
Hmm.
are, by rewriting your story, you are slowly rewiring your identity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then how did you move through that?
After I started to get my shit together.
Yeah, like did you see, like you said it took time, but did you feel inspired with that? Did you feel a certain momentum that you're like, oh, this is working? Or did you feel like it was work?
I think at first it definitely felt like work because you're breaking that pattern. But then once everything starts to gel, it just feels like you're in this state of flow, which is where you want to be, which is that manifestation state, is being in that state of flow. So then everything feels easy because it's natural, it's your default, it's part of who you are now. So getting to that flow state definitely took probably more than those 2 or 3 years because it's a practice and mindset is a tricky little bitch.
So, in the process, then, are there certain things that you do daily or weekly now to keep yourself, now that you're in that flow state? Do you have like a ritual or a process that you do even now?
Yeah, I'm a big person for journaling and meditation. I love meditation. Every once in a while, I'll get out of the habit of it because, I'm too busy in the morning or whatever because we're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we always have a lot of everything on our plates. But then when I realized that I'm in a funk or my mindset's not where it should be, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should get back to the things I know that are good for me. So meditation first thing, and I almost always do a guided meditation. I'm not one for just sitting in silence and because my thoughts will go crazy. And then I really have gotten back into journaling because there's something about pen to paper and just it just helps you get the thoughts out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm always so curious because what works for everybody is going to be different. But I see
yeah.
so many parallels that show up for the people that if you can just find that space to allow yourself to connect with yourself, like that
Hmm.
seems to be the core of what pulls people back on track or keeps people on track. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Let's do the nutshell here on what your three core manifestation principles are. Just because
Okay.
I know we touched on the first one for sure at the beginning, but just to give people the
Yeah.
recap of the process that you took yourself through.
Yeah. So over, my learning of manifestation journey, which I've really enjoyed, I've found a way to simplify it because manifestation can be thought of being like very woo-woo and, unattainable. I can't do that. I can't sit and meditate and I can't just or people think it's super easy that they just recite affirmations or they make a vision board and all of a sudden they're manifesting. So I've broken it down into a 3-step process that I feel is pretty legitimate as far as getting you on your way towards manifestation. So we did already touch on it. The first step is that awareness and clarity. Like you have to really get honest with yourself about who you are, why you're where you're at, whether it's good or bad, and then where you want to go. So it's that awareness and clarity because that's what you want to put out into the universe. That your shit, like what's going on, and that you know where you want to go. The second step is learning how to receive. And that's a really big one because yeah, we might want, the new job, the wealth or health, or obviously more specific than that. But what if we don't feel worthy enough to receive it? Actually, being able to be a whole and healthy vessel to receive what the universe wants to give you. If you're still emotionally unavailable, how are you supposed to receive the love of your life? Because you're not going to be compatible. You're not going to be able to hold on. You're not going to feel worthy of somebody else's love. So you've got to do the inner work to
Mhm.
be able to receive the manifestation that you're trying to call into your life. And then the last one, and that's the one that I've been working the most for most of 2025, was having faith and letting go. Manifestation is a co-creation process. You are co-creating with a higher power that knows what's best for you more than you do. And you have to have faith in that power and you have to let go of the outcome. Yes, it is good to know where you want to go, but what if there's something even better at the end of that road? And you have to be able to let go. Just loosely hold on to what it is you're trying to call into your life because there might be something even better at the end. So,
Yeah,
those are my 3 steps.
I love that. And I totally agree with you. That is a beautiful breakdown of them. And I just want to touch on that last step here because I think this is where so many people, us, we're human beings. We want to know the how. We grip
Yeah.
on so tight to that outcome
Yep.
that we don't allow for it to play out. So, what's
Yep.
some advice you have for somebody to give the space for your manifestations to play out?
This is the biggest piece of that is you have to be present in the moment. Live in your moments. Enjoy the here and the now. It's great to look to the future and plan and dream, but if you are always looking into the future, you're going to miss what's right in front of you. So if you are present in your daily life and really enjoy it and be grateful for it and have gratitude, then the end of the journey or the manifestation will come before you know it.
Hmm. I got goosebumps. That's so true. Being present, if you are enjoying every moment, time might pass and you might realize, like, oh, I got the thing I wanted. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that
Yeah.
that's the, I was on the path all along. So by just
Yep.
keeping yourself in those high vibration feelings, that was
Yeah.
lovely.
And it's not, I mean, it's a little cliche. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Mhm.
But it's true. You got to
Yeah.
enjoy the journey.
Yeah, that's so important. And I think we can all think of people sitting here right now who are so fixated on the future that they aren't enjoying the right now. They're so focused on, like, I think of myself, for example, if I flash back to sitting at my pension job, riding it out till retirement, I would be miserable right now if that's the path that
Yeah.
I've been like, I'm supposed to do this. I have to do this. Just writing it out to when I'm 65, I can end this misery that I'm putting myself through 5 days a week.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like, that's not fun. So
No, that's not living.
that's not living, right? So
Yeah.
we all know people are so fixated on some kind of outcome that we're not actually living. So that is a very, very valuable piece of advice that you just shared there.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to share, what do you think your biggest piece of advice would be for someone to go out and just create a life they love? We might have just touched on it, but
Yeah. I mean, it's when you really focus on your energy, and I'll take it back to the law of attraction, but when you really focus on what you're putting out into the world, then you will really start to get back all the things that you want. So it's just living that law of attraction in every single area of your life. And you can apply it to every single area. It's not just love, it's not just money, it's not just career. Like it's every little thing. It could be for a while, I was trying to create more connections in my life. And I realized that I needed to be vulnerable first to show the universe that I could handle new connections in my life. It's just a mindset. So, yeah, diving deep on the law of attraction will make an incredible impact in your life.
mhm, it will. And I love that so many coaches now are having this tool in their back pocket because I've had many coaches throughout my life,
Yeah.
and none of them have embodied the law of attraction, which is so bizarre considering that is like such a core value and or such a thing I am drawn to. So I love people like you that are coaching that have this knowledge to be able to give to people, to empower people who might be in a stuck spot, to be like, hey, you can do this. Here's why the universe is set up for things to work in your favor if you intend for them to work in your favor.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
would love for you to share with the listeners where they can reach out, follow you, catch more of your wisdom.
So I love to be on Instagram. So you can find me at Keep Finding You, but with the letter U. And then you can find out more about who I am, my coaching services, my freebies that I offer on my website, which is Keep Finding You spelled out YOU.com.
Okay, awesome. I will link that in the show notes for everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Naomi,
you.
for joining me on the show today and having this conversation.
And thank you for having me. This has been really great.
Before you go, I know you've got some big dreams and desires of your own calling to you. I'd love for you to come hang out with me inside Manifestation Playground on School. It's free to join, and you'll get instant access to the Manifestation Vault and an amazing community of fellow manifestors. Come in, drop me a hello, share a win, or just quietly binge the tools, your pace, your vibe. Head to manifestationplayground.ca, and I'll see you in there.